Hello, sim racers. Welcome to another live stream tonight. We are going to do some special stuff, but what a week it has been. It is, I have no words to describe the week that, we have just almost finished. Uh, Obviously, as you all know, we released the GT4 DLC pack, and I've honestly I don't remember. Well, yes, a couple of times, but it has been a really special moment for us. The whole sim racing community is going nuts about this this DLC. Everybody practically is loving it. Everywhere I'm turning my head, I see amazing comments and reviews and everything. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. Thank you so much for standing behind us and giving us all your support. It has been an incredible ride of emotion for the whole team. We've been working really, really hard in the past months, and yes, I think we managed to do something pretty special. So tonight, what we're going to do tonight? Tonight, Gergo is overtaking some cars. A friend is updating his application, and I will try to learn a Spanish track in a German car. We will manage to do all of that. I don't know. We will see. So let's see how we're doing on the chat and try to start the live stream and move ahead. Okay. So whoops, we've lost the top. Hmm. Hmm. Sorry about that. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight to start with. So let me switch the cameras and go to our classic camera where we show the game. Thank you so much, people. Thank you so much for your support. Fantastic. So one of the most important things that we enabled with this GT4 pack DLC. Um, right. So one of the things that we enabled is mixed races in multiplayer servers, which, from what I hear, everybody is pretty impressed and amazed by the whole situation. We did a couple of races for demonstration, and it was pretty amazing. You saw me sweating like a pig from top to bottom into such a race, trying to drive the Ginetta to the limit. Um, but one of the most important things that I believe that we all have to learn and get better is how to deal with traffic in mixed races. Okay, so because of that, the Duchess and there in GT3. Good news. There won't be any. So because of all of that, Gergo has made an amazing race. At the same race when I was racing the Ginetta, Gergo had took the Aston Martin GT3 car and found a lot of traffic. Had some amazing moments of overtaking and traffic and everything. And he very kindly gave me his replay and asked me to showcase it and have an analysis so that everybody can learn. We can learn from our errors. You can learn from your errors, mistakes, and get better, because it is a pretty new situation for all the sim racers that are racing with Sottocorsa Competizione. So without further ado, let's go to the gallery and load his replay. Here we are. Okay. Hey, Alpha, come on. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you, mate. My first programming language. Well, actually, I'm not a programmer. Uh, I'm doing lots of research and development work. I'm doing lots of uh, data input, verifications, stuff like that. lots of driving, of course. But I'm not a proper programmer. I don't know how to program. I know how to read. I know to do scripts. I know some basic web programming, but that's it mainly. So I'm not a true programmer. It's one of those things that uh, I regret from myself that I never learned how to properly program. But yeah, that's it. But thank you so much for your support, mate. So what we're going to do today? Let me also put. Oops, sorry about that. Let me also enable the mirror so that we can have to see something. My background is pretty strange. Extreme fanatic and enthusiast of cars since I remember myself. Practically, cars is all I could think about it. And I was actually I came in Italy to study medicine, and around the 5 years into the university, I've had enough. I didn't like it, and I started to follow my passion, which was computer graphics and cars, automotive. And through some years of trying to get closer, doing multimedia stuff, and trying to get closer and closer to the automotive industry, which I managed somehow. And at some point, I made the jump and started doing um development work on simulators. And after all those years, it's around 16 or 17 years that I do stuff like that. Here we are today. So you never know how life can be. So yeah. You mean about consoles or PCs? Because honestly, in PC we don't have any input delay. On consoles, honestly, 30 frames per second, you have to deal with it. It is what it is. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see if we can find out. Christian, ti hanno appena risposto. Qui la chat di solito è tutta gente molto informata che controlla. Okay, so let's go inside. Yeah, okay. So what I want to show you here. So this is Gergo driving. He has a GT3 car. We all know Gergo, extremely fast driver, and he's into a mixed server with GT3s and GT4 cars. And after the seventh lap, somewhere around the eighth lap, he starts to make us, to find the traffic from the GT4 cars, and so a lot of overtake is happening. So what I would like to check is and show you is how to deal with traffic, both the good things that Gergo is doing, both the bad things that or some mistakes that Gergo might be doing, and also the good and the bad things that the GT4 drivers are doing while they are all inside the same server. All right, so let's go. Okay, so toggle this. You can see more or less where we are. Also, it won't be much of a help right now. So the GT3 cars are moving ahead. Move a little bit farther. And somewhere around here, yes, you can see the first GT4 car. Now, as you can see, the blue flags are already, waving for the GT4 car. First comment I want to say. Now, it's true that the GT3 cars are lapping GT4s, but the GT4s are a different category and they are already in their own fights and their own duels. So the first thing that you as a GT3 driver have always to think is that you cannot pretend that they just disappear from your road. Okay, they are there because they are fighting, they're dueling, they are having their own race. And the great thing, and everybody has to understand this, is that we can do those races all together, and it is even more exciting. But to be exciting and enjoyable for everybody, everybody has to respect each other. That's the number one thing that we always have to keep in mind and think about it. Okay? Okay, so let's go. Ciao Mirko. Now, as you can see here, remember this. GT3 cars in fast bends can catch the GT4 cars in, like, when you see them on the horizon, in 2 or 3 turns, you have catch them and you have probably overtaken them. So remember this, on fast bends, because of the amazing downforce and much more grip at higher speeds, the GT3 cars are even faster than what you think from the GT4 cars. The thing is exactly the opposite, or almost the opposite, on long straights or very slow turns. On long straights, the GT4 cars have much better, have much less aerodynamic resistance, and so, especially the more powerful cars, they can accelerate up to 250 kilometers per hour in almost a similar way as the GT3 cars, which means that you won't catch them as easy on long straights. And on very slow straights, still the GT3 cars have much more grip, but their aerodynamic advantage is not so big anymore. So again, you will catch them, you will be faster, but not so much as in fast bends. Look at what happens here in this fast bend. So you can see, already caught him, overtook him, done, finished. Now, very rightfully, the BMW, went aside and didn't protect my line, didn't do anything. But that's a specific situation here because the GT4 car was alone. Now we're coming closer to more traffic. Oh my God, Alpha Dog, come, Alpha Org, come on, mate. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you. Oh yeah, the Commodore, the Commodore Basic was awful. I remember that too. Yeah, I remember that too. Pascal was much more intuitive. All right, so let's go. Thank you so much, mate. Again. So now we are approaching a slow turn with the GT3 cars and many GT4 cars. So let's see what happens. You can see a Ginetta. Ginetta is very fast on the turns. I won't say as fast as the GT3 cars, but its approach. So you can see, now, this is interesting here. Okay, so let's move one car ahead, if we can. I don't know if we can make it. So let's go here and see from closer what happens. So the Ginetta went a little bit wide, okay, and then closed the line. You see, now the Ginetta here he's doing something wrong. Now, if you really watch him, what he's doing, he's trying to go to the inside. Okay. Now, at some point, he will understand, okay, that's not possible here. He's too close to me, so he will go outside. But that mentality that I see many people, they have someone behind them that they are about to lap them. And what they're trying to do always is exit the corner as soon as they can. They try to go into the inside. This is one of the worst things you can do in racing. Okay. Why? Because if you're trying to go into the inside, it means that you are going to have a much lower exit speed because you are trying to turn even more than what you need, and obviously you cannot, so you have to lift your accelerator to go inside. Or if you keep accelerating, you're going to be you know, you might have oversteering problems, which will make your car lose the balance and might be a risky situation. On the other hand, the car that follows, GT3 or GT4, doesn't matter, tries to be as fast as possible on the exit to get your slipstream and then move away and overtake you. If while the car is trying to exit as fast as possible, you stop in front of him because you try to go into the inside, it's the worst thing you can do, practically. You ruin the race for both of you and you put both of you in a very, very risky situation. So let's see that again. Now, look at him, how he goes on the outside here, okay, because he's not really sure what to do. Okay, he thinks that, okay, this one is away and probably saw the blue flags and tries to go outside. All fine here. And then he changes his mind and tries to go in this inside. You see, he's not pointing towards the outside of the turn. He's trying to go on the inside. This is wrong. Now, fortunately for him and for the GT3 car, he understands this, you see, and now instantly changes his steering wheel and tries to go on the outside. But the GT3 already is full on brakes because otherwise he would, you know, punt him. There's no other way to do about this. So no, that wasn't me, luckily, but I have my share of errors. Yeah. So this is a clear example of what not to do. Okay. So don't try to go on the outside. Don't try to go on the inside. Exit the turn as fast as you can. Stay on your line. The GT3 cars behind you are so fast, so much faster than you, and have the whole vision of what is happening because, you know, they are approaching to you. They should choose what to do. And if you watch it again, you will see how the GT3 had already chosen to go into the inside, but at some point it had to brake, you know. It had to stop because otherwise it would be very, very risky. You see, already knows he's going towards the inside, he's flashing, he just wants, you know, to have this space open, and that's it. And now brake because, and he's going to the other way because he understood. Luckily enough for him, he was good enough with good reflexes that, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Let me go to the outside. All right. So let's go back. Gergo. Now Gergo here's another thing. Now Gergo sees the whole situation and understands, okay, we have an opportunity here, and tries to overtake. Okay, but it's so hard to enter here, so he abandoned. Okay, and he maintained his position, not putting into big risk everybody. So look at the Camaro. Stays outside, no issues at all for everybody. GT3 cars are already away. GT3 cars continue. Now I might be this one, that's the net over there. I stay outside, you see, and everybody can go in. Probably way too much here, but I was away from the other races. If I was that guy, I don't remember, and there wasn't an issue. Again, BMW, no problem, stays outside. Look at how late the GT3 car can brake in comparison to the BMW, right? Now, obviously, if you have a GT4 car and the GT3 is side by you on the braking zone, I mean, don't push your luck, don't brake as hard as you can, maybe release a little bit earlier. You will also have the opportunity to do your line without problems because the GT3 cars will be already passed over you without issues. Okay, so you see, there are things here to understand. Gergo was about to gain a position in the GT3 car, but he abandoned the idea. Now, one thing to remind you, it is very, very important. Now, it's true that the GT3 cars are in a fight, okay? But if you are in a mixed server, you're gonna have so much traffic. It's virtually impossible that the guy that you are, going after won't have his own share of problems, and you won't be able to catch him again. And you will see that in a minute. So he's already behind him again. And he's trying, to get closer and closer. But we are approaching again another Camaro. Stays outside. Gergo went a bit too much on this side, but he's already passed. No problems again. Now, more traffic. More traffic. Now here it becomes obviously interesting, because look at how many cars we have in front of us. So let's have a look what's going to happen here. Now look at the Audi, okay? Now the Audi is chasing the other cars. He remains on the line. Now, you might be nervous. You might think that, oh, he should have gone, on the other side, whatever. Every car has all the rights to stay on the correct line. It's your responsibility as a driver of a faster car, or as a driver that is the same car but wants to overtake, it doesn't matter, to find a different line to overtake. The guy in front of you has every right to stay on the correct line. The responsibility is always on the car behind to try and find, a different line to overtake or a different opportunity. So obviously, don't try and defend every time when it doesn't matter, okay? But you still have to understand, you are on a GT3, you're so much faster than these guys. Those guys are 3, 4 in a fight, in a duel. You cannot pretend that they will just disappear to let you pass. All right, so respect the GT4 cars and find a different. You have a car that has so much more grip that it's all on you to find a way on how to overtake them. Okay, so let's see right away what happens here. You see the GT3 in front, cuts on the inside, already overtaken. Now notice how the GT4 car accelerates pretty fast, so keep always that in mind. Again, you see, inside, Gergo has to wait. Now, that Ginetta here, okay, was very kind to go to the outside and let him go. But if he wanted to stay on the line because he didn't want to lose any time from the yellow Audi in front of him, no problem. He could have done that, and he could have done exactly that and be extremely right. No problems at all. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what happens, in that situation. So that's the situation. And you can notice here again what we said before. Gergo has to abandon the attack and wait. No other way to deal with it. So look at this. So his opponent goes away, and Gergo, he cannot pass, so he has to wait. He cannot, attack. He has to wait. Remember what I told you before. Even if your opponent, the other GT3 guys, goes away and the gap becomes wider, don't worry too much about it. Why? Because look at how many GT4 cars we have in front of us. At some point, this guy will also have its own share of problems, and you will be able to catch him again. If not here, on the next lap or on the lap after. So always think that. If you see, okay, if it's last lap, obviously you're gonna try whatever you can. But if you're in the middle or the start of the race, okay, and you see that the car in front of you moves away and gets some gap over you, don't go berserk, don't go nuts, don't try everything to stay close to him. Inevitably, at some point, he will have problems that you won't, and you will catch him again. So this is what happens with the mixed racers. So if you keep that in your mind, you will be a safer driver. You won't take unnecessary risks to go and catch him, Okay. Now look at, as we're approaching the very fast bends, how the GT3 cars are so much faster. Now again, Gergo has to wait for the Audi, goes on the outside and already overtook him, just like that. So you have to, explore different lines. Don't worry about it. Your car is so much faster. Okay. Now again, we arrive here. Look at, now this is very important. This is an extremely important move from Gergo. So we are still far away from the McLaren, but we do know that our car is much faster than the McLaren GT4 in the following bend, because it's a GT3, it's so much faster. Now watch how Gergo goes behind to get the slipstream, but way before the braking point moves to the inside and makes his car visible on the McLaren. He makes him understand that, you know what, I'm going for it. So think about it, I'm going for it. Look at me, I'm here on the inside. I will go for it, okay? Thank you so much, Timinovsky, for the follow. So look again his move. Following, moving outside, clear, you see, and goes in. Now, some of you might say, oh, but that's a dive bomb. Well, yes, it is, because with a GT3 car, you can dive bomb. You can dive bomb. If you make yourself clear to the guy in front of you, you can dive bomb him so much better, and it's a clean pass, It's a clean overtake, because the guy actually does expect the dive bomb, because the only thing that, the GT4 car wants to see is you dive bombing and going away, so that he can get back to his line and be fast again. So a proper GT4 driver expects the dive bombing, because he knows that that is what is going to happen. It's inevitable. Okay, so let's go. Let's move on. Let's watch how Gergo now overtakes the BMW GT4 here. See? Now, look at that. He wasn't so sure what to do. Okay, so Gergo here was a little bit on, not really decided what to do. Should I go inside? Should I go outside? Now, that's a very clever, if not maybe optimal, but it's a very clever decision from Gergo here. So he understands that, okay, I should go inside. I have some understeer. I don't know what this guy is going to do. Let's see. So I'm going full on accelerator here. And he sees that, the understeer takes him outside. Now he has two options. Or he raises his foot, goes inside, or he goes completely outside. And he sees that there is a lot of space outside, and he goes for the outside. Now, obviously, you would say, oh, but that is, completely out of the track limits, right? Because indeed, it's out of the track limits. But here's the situation, and here's why also we changed our approach in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we created that specific penalty system that doesn't instantly gives you, a penalty if you went outside the track, but tries to understand the situation. So if you see here, Gergo could have been full throttle, but he's always a little bit less on the throttle. He waits, look, way too low throttle, almost half the throttle here. Again, outside the track, not full throttle. And then he goes full throttle in. Now, when he does this, the system understands that, okay, you are not really gaining time here by going outside the track. And so I will let you go without any penalty, which is very important. Why? Because by choosing that line, Gergo puts into safety himself and the GT4 driver. He doesn't get any unnecessary risk. They are both into a safe situation, because look at them. Look at the distance between them. Okay, there is plenty of distance to do anything. So sometimes it's better to go outside the track if you have the space, and waste some time. Doesn't matter. The system won't give you penalty, because understands that you are not gaining time, but you are safer like this. That's the whole mentality. That's why you see also real drivers sometimes they are on the limit, don't know what to do, and they say at some point, okay, let me go outside, raise my foot a little bit, and real people, real organizers and judges understand this and say, okay, yeah, you went under limit. I might give you a warning, or I might not give you nothing if I can see from the lap times and the sector times that you have gained no time at all, because it's the safest thing to do. Safety first. Okay, so so let's move on. Yes, of course, it's a longer distance around the track. Now, take a look at this. That wasn't so nice. So, where are we? There's a BMW here somewhere. So, I don't know if it's this one. Yes, it's this one. Okay. So this driver sees Gergo coming in front of him. Now, he's approaching his reference point and he's still not braking. Why don't you or are already on the brakes? You have nothing to gain on a GT3 car. Okay, so look at this situation here. Now this situation becomes risky, really risky. Look at that in slow motion still, and he starts braking with a car in front of him at his usual reference point. That's an unnecessary risk. Now it's true that probably the GT3 car will not stay in the middle because it's faster, but you never know. That, I mean, the GT3 car in front of you might have done a mistake or whatever, and you're going to punt him from behind without reason. So he should have started his braking much sooner. There's no need to make such a late braking distance. I mean, he could have started braking, I don't know, for example, somewhere around here. He could have started braking here or a little bit later, but not now on his normal reference point. And in fact, what happens? It gets closer, closer, closer. Oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Luckily, Gergo is already off the brakes, but he was going outside because he understood that, oh, I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to fuck up now. So that is an unnecessary risk. Don't do that. He had nobody in front of him to gain time, and he had probably nobody behind him to lose position. So why do this? Okay, so let's go back again, and let's move on. Okay, what's happening in the chat, guys? Take it easy. Take it easy, guys, in the chat. We're doing something here. We're explaining things. If you go in the chat asking things, completely off topic, it doesn't matter really, right? I mean, guys, internet shouldn't be like everybody's free. It should be like going to the bar of your town. You're not going inside the bar and someone is explaining something to another, and you from the other table screaming to him, "Hey, what is the weather today?" You're not doing that, right? So, all right. So, let's move on. Yes, Dimitri, we are looking into it. Something went amiss. Okay, so again, can you see how how the GT3 cars can change their lines very fast because they have so much grip, right? So look at this situation, for example. So Gergo is pushing. Now normally here you go flat out and you go outside. Because of the Mercedes GT4, Gergo had to lift a little bit, and immediately as he lifts, he can change a different line and stay very close without issues on the handling of the car or the balance of the car. So look at that. Oh, inside. That's it. Now, remember what I told you before. His opponent here got some gap. Okay, so Gergo lost his pressure on his opponent in front of him. Did he go crazy? No, he just kept doing what he was doing. And what happened? Well, here we are again. Lots of traffic here, so many GT4 cars, and look, his opponent is exactly on the slow turns in the middle of the traffic of GT4 cars, which means that Gergo now can regain so much more time to his opponent, and we will see that in a minute. Hello, guys. Look at this. You see? He's back again. Outside. Completely outside. Now, as you saw, he tried outside to overtake, but he had an Alpine and Ginetta, which are extremely fast cars in terms of mechanical grip. So even a GT3 car couldn't overtake so easy. Now, that Ginetta here, which happens to be me, because I remember this situation here, is an idiot. And he doesn't really realize that the GT3 car is behind him. And what he does, what I do, is that he maintains his line all through the outside of the turn. So look at this terrible situation. Look at that. Look at how wide Gergo has to go to avoid me. Now, this is completely idiotic behavior on my side. I simply didn't understand because I was watching the Alpine behind me, and I thought that that was the Alpine, okay? And I didn't realize that instead it goes the GT3 car. And there you have it. I was doing a completely stupid thing, going wide outside because I thought, okay, I'm accelerating. The Alpine cannot, overtake me. But it wasn't the Alpine, but it was Gergo on his GT3. And just at the very last, look at this. This is ridiculous. Look at how stupid I am. So at the very last moment, I understand that, and finally I move away. I'm pretty sure Gergo here is, calling all the sense and everything, and he's not telling nice things to me right now, rightfully so. But luckily, he went outside and managed to overtake me without problems. But again, if we see what happened here from the outside, so here's the situation. Now, I've got a little bit punt from the Alpine, but that's not the problem here. Okay, that's not the excuse. I'm trying to maintain my position, and I'm going full speed, full commitment to my line because the Alpine behind me, I want to defend, and he already had punted me. Not an excuse, because Gergo, poor guy, is coming full-blown, full speed ahead, and look at what I forced him to do. Okay, so here this could be a really big accident, and that would have been all my responsibility. Okay, now it's true that Gergo has the responsibility because he's coming from the outside, but he's coming from behind. But it's not on the behind anymore. I mean, he made himself really clear that, look at him. I'm here. Oh, hey, look at me. I'm here. No, look at me. He doesn't even go inside, poor guy. Look at me. I'm here. Look at me. Fuck it. And I'm like, oh, like that. No? So that's all on me. Alpha, again, come on, mate. What are you doing tonight? Oh, come on, mate. Thank you so much. All right, so let's move on and see other situations, similar situations. Don't worry, Gergo also does something similar later. So look at the line of the Cayman here. This is perfect line, no problem. He has every right to do so because he's in front of me. Now, Gergo gets the racer, goes to the outside, and he can do it. No problem at all. everybody was pretty safe, no issue. Again, look at him, look at the Alpine. Okay, now the best thing you can do, as we said, is stay on your line. He did the whole turn as fast as he could. He stayed on his line. It is the responsibility of the much faster GT3 car to find a way through it. And by not stopping and changing lines, he gave the GT3 the impression of, okay, sure, no problem. You are doing your line. I know what the line, the racing line is, so it's on me to find a different line. That's the whole thing, predictability. If you're doing the racing line, the car behind you knows that you're doing the racing line, and the racing line is, a known thing to everybody in the server. Everybody knows what the racing line is. So do your racing line. That makes you predictable. That's the key word here. Being predictable to the cars behind you. Okay? See? Now you might think, okay, but at some point that Alpine goes a little bit too much to the left. Watch carefully what happens here. We have a car, we have an accident right here. So that Alpine says, yeah, okay, I'll do my line, I will let you pass, but I should be safe too. That's a risk in that's racing. That car might have ended in the middle of the road, and the Alpine might have go completely to the right, and we might have an accident between Alpine and Gergo the GT3 and the other car. That's racing. Obviously, mistakes will happen. Obviously, accidents will happen. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes your race is ruined. Call it a day. Tomorrow it's going to be a better day. Think positive, okay? I'm not saying that, to give you, I don't know, some kind of psychology lessons, but it is the name of the game. Racing shit happens because we are, trying to control 1.5 tons beasts with more than 300, 400, 500 horsepower at the extreme limit of adhesion of our tires. Shit happens all the day, every day. Hey, mate. Okay, so let's move on. So again, now Gergo has some distance from his opponent, but once again, look at that. He has free air right now, and his opponent has to wait. It happens, so don't worry about it. Don't go crazy. Oh, I have to catch my opponent. It will happen. Okay, so here, let's have a look here. No, so Mark Robson, which by the way we're going to see this here. Marco Robson de Oliveira says, what do you recommend for when with GT4 you are fighting another GT4 car side by side and the GT3 needs to pass? So here's the situation. The key word here is needs. The GT3 doesn't need to pass. The GT3 needs to respect. So if the GT4s are side by side, the GT3 needs to respect this and either wait, do something, I don't know, crazy about it, and I can show you stuff like that, or provoke an accident. Obviously, you have those three possibilities. My idea would be, respect the others. It's a race for everybody, so that's how it is. So here it is a situation. That's a similar situation. Now, as you can see here, we have two fights. First two cars and the second two cars. And Gergo is arriving behind the Maserati. The GT3 is way on the outside, trying to understand what to do with the other two cars here. And Gergo also have to understand what to do with the Aston in front of him. Sorry. So, so the Maserati really tries to get the line, but you know, Gergo is in here because he committed to go behind the other car, and the Maserati understands this. Okay, so it understands it, so it doesn't really goes full in, and that is a good thing, you know. Oops, we've lost the mouse. Okay. Now, Gergo is completely on costing here because he has to wait. He cannot do anything. I mean, what are you going to do here? Where do you want to go? You just have to wait. So waiting, 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 and waiting. Goes into the inside. Now, here is again, once again, very important. Be predictable. The Aston Martin in front of him was predictable. Followed perfectly the racing line. Everybody knows the racing line. Gergo knows the racing line. So when he sees someone following the racing line, Gergo knows, okay, I have to choose something different. Okay. But if the car in front of me is following the racing line, it means, I can trust him. Imagine what would have happened if that car decided to go into the inside as some guys usually do. Gergo would have to, stop and brake. The Maserati behind was coming, as fast as he could, So all hell would have broken loose. So let's watch also the other GT3 car here, which is also because it is exactly what Marco asked before. So let's see what was happening here. So look at that. So the guy here, okay, overtakes double, triple, four wide. I mean, okay, he has the power to do it, but he's coming behind those two cars, and those two cars are fighting for position. Okay, so let's see here. Right, so now we have a fight in front of us. So what this car will do? Okay, you have to wait. You have to understand. You have to now. He is having some extra good ideas. So, for example, look at how he positioned his car extremely wide. Two things might happen here. At least I believe. I mean, I would have thought the same thing if I was so good, probably. Well, first of all, as we said, always at the outside you have plenty of tarmac, so you are safe to go wide if something bad happens. Remember from the other live stream that we did that I was explaining what to do in some situations. So when you see two cars fighting, go on the outside and wait. Okay, it's safer, right? The other thing that, okay, I have a much faster car, maybe I can go on the outside of both of them. Who knows? Third situation, maybe I can do a very late apex and overtake them from the inside as those guys are battling their way towards the outside of the track. So all those three possibilities exist. Now, you might say, but Aris, I'm driving on the limit. I cannot think of all of that. That's why we're doing this video, to give you ideas. Think about them. Watch the video. Watch the video again. Watch it again. The more ideas and situations you have on your mind, the more those things will arrive to you when they appear in front of you. So let's have a look. You see that he stays a little bit on the outside, okay? And now he tries to follow this car because, it seems to be faster. But, tough luck, the other guy is coming back again. So, what to do? Frustration? Yes, of course. Angry even? Maybe. Can he do something about it? No, you have to wait. You have to wait. There's no other way to do. Nothing to do. You have to wait. That's the situation here. Those guys are battling for position. You have no right to do whatever you want, So that's it. That's racing. And that's also the excitement about it, because right now he might be angry, he might be frustrated, he might be whatever, but sure as hell his adrenaline is skyrocketing, and those emotions are what is positive and what we all want about, racing. That's racing. Come on, guys. Yeah, 6 likes to 100. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the 100 likes. And as usual, subscribe, hit the like, all the stuff. So yeah, let's see. So now you see he has to wait. There's nothing to do at all. So that's it. Let's see this thing one more time. It's pretty nice until the end into one guy. Look at this. Let's stay on the outside. Okay, this guy is faster, so let's follow him. Oh, fuck. The other guy is now faster, so let's follow him. No, let's follow the other guy. What should I do? I don't know. Let me wait about it. Okay? And now, the fight between them is over, so now I can move forward. Okay? And now I can overtake. That's it. Now, what happened in the meantime? Let's go back again. Sorry about that. In the meantime, Gergo, which was so far away, as we said, don't worry, everybody's having problems. So have a look at what's happening with Gergo. Now, Gergo has his own share of trouble, but fortunately for him, he didn't have as much trouble as the guy in front of him. And now he's directly behind him in just one turn. Look at the gap, no gap. I mean, he even tries to overtake him from the outside here. He didn't make it, but there was an opportunity. So that's what I'm saying you. If your opponent's GT3 car is going away, don't get, desperate about it. Don't get desperate to follow him. You will have your opportunity. Now that was a little bit hairy here, and that is what we said before. So what is happening here? Look at that. Now here, probably Gergo should have waited, okay? But he got desperate to go and fight the other GT3. So he took a big risk to go inside and put into a bad position this pure guy on the Camaro. Now, again, as we said, it's racing. Shit will happen. Try to survive it, okay? But the more you are prepared for it, the better it is. Oh, come on, Aris.Drives, man. Thank you so much, man. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, mate. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's see the situation from this Camaro. I don't know if he's here or here. No, who's that guy? Actually, it's Zardier. It's Zardier. So it's Zardier who is getting, dive bombed by Gergo. Now, I'm pretty sure that Gergo already have seen that it was Zardier. We know each other. We know that, we can trust his. Actually, no, I don't trust so much Zardier because every time he kills me, but I love him so much, so who cares? So I'm pretty sure that that was also one of the reasons that he dived bombed him that much. So look at the situation from Zardier, from inside the car of Zardier. So he goes in, and oh my god. And now he flashes him. What are you doing? So, yeah. So, to be honest, Gergo probably pushed it a little bit too much here. That was a proper dive bomb and probably unnecessary. So, he got excited. He wanted to follow his opponent very, very closely. And he took probably an unnecessary risk. Unnecessary because we are in the middle of the race. We still have so much race to go on yet. So probably not that that good by his side. Okay, let's move ahead. Drink. Let's drink, guys. Only 350 people. It's okay. I'll take it. Only the best. Now look at this. Ooh, that was scary. So look at this situation. Now, by the way, I don't know if this is me or another guy. So let's have a look. Ginetta. No, it's not me. So this guy stays on the outside. Come on, Alpha, mate. You are crazy tonight. So he just stays on the outside, clear line, no big deal. Now, obviously, the situation here gets completely scary because we have this poor Maserati completely 180 degrees spun, and so Gergo has to squeeze between the Ginetta, the Maserati, and the the limit of the track. So right. Hello, hello from New Zealand. Parabellum, queste sono le macchine, queste sono le regole. Noi mettiamo esattamente quello così com'è. All right. So let's go back to Gergo and follow him for some more laps. Now again we have fights here, and again they have to wait the guys. So they decide to go on the inside, and here we start. Maserati actually is winning, guys. Yes, of course not when it rains, but Maserati is really fast, so be careful because you're gonna have, many aliens shooting the Maserati on some tracks. Okay, let's see how this evolves. You see how Gergo tries to show himself to his opponent, also very good stuff. And now another overtake of the GT3 that he was alone, the GT3 was alone, they started to stay on the outside. Both the GT3s went through, the GT4 was alone. Easy, no risk, everybody was safe, everybody was happy. Thanks, Alpha. Grazie mille, ragazzi. Okay, so let's move a little bit forward and find. I think now you have to move towards the end. Find, yeah, somewhere around here. We've lost the overtaking. Let's see the overtaking first. Okay, so let's see the moment of fame for Gergo when he overtook. Here we are, very close to his opponent Radis. Yeah, the rules are the same. Sometimes it happens, on some servers I see a very nice big company where the GT3 cars, ask and go out for the first 5 or 10 minutes, and after they're done with their qualification, the GT4 cars, follow and do their lap time. I think we have already done some a video when I was, plugging David Perez's video on Mugello. I mean, I don't even have to plug it, guys. If you haven't already followed David Perez's video and channel, you have to do it absolutely because the guy is a monster. He's one of the best racers out there. So let's see what happened here exactly on the overtaking. Ahmad, nothing really has been changed. The usual, fine-tuning here or there, but we have a better caster simulation that might give you a better front-end feel in terms of a little bit less, maybe, understeer on some occasion, better control of the car on some occasion, stuff like that. So what happened here? Let's go in front of Radis and see something happened with Radis and this Ginetta. So the Ginetta stays on the outside, and Radis has a lot of understeer here. So something probably he didn't took the turn as he wanted. So he stays on the outside. Now look at this. Now this is a problem of Radis. The Ginetta stayed on the outside, did the whole turn very nicely, but obviously the Ginetta cannot go outside the racing track. Not at all. The Ginetta has to stay on the racing track. Okay, so he stayed outside, he gave him room, and stayed inside the track. Now, Radis, unfortunately, as we said, problems happen. He didn't manage to do the proper turn in and get the apex. You can see he's already quite far away from the apex here, and then he goes into severe understeer. You see how much steering input he gives. This is too much understeer right now, and the car obviously starts to washes out towards the outside of the track. There's nothing he can do now except to raise his foot and wait for the car to regain grip on the front tires. Not only that, but unfortunately, and that is only bad luck, uh, the Ginetta is right in front of him. It's right in front of him. Okay, so he can do nothing else than stop, wait. He will have an extremely slow exit. There is nothing else he can do. So slow exit, and of course, Gergo behind him did everything perfect. He has a very fast exit, and obviously he goes on his side and already got him entering here. Very nice clean overtake, which was the result of a battle turn and racing line from Radis, and Gergo being there, taking up the opportunity. One of the best scenarios, taking advantage of your opponent errors. That's the best thing. So holidays, you say. Well, actually, I am in soft holidays this week because everything went very well. So I'm just, I'm not even in front of my monitor anymore. I'm just, monitoring and seeing if you have any big issues. We didn't have any, so I'm already started to be more relaxed. And next week, I'm gonna be in complete holidays for a week. It's not that I'm going anywhere, but at least I will start to be with the family, eat a lot, drink a lot, stuff like that. This year is it's like that, but who cares? So yeah, and also some other guys from the team are getting some holidays because there's a lot of burnout. To be honest, I mean, our developers are like, that's enough. Lots of months with a lot of stress, not only a lot of work but also a lot of stress because of the situation, the pandemic, the SRO. Everybody wanted to do esports at the same time, all the stuff. It's all great problems to have, but there's still problems. Uh, Thank you so much, Alva. Oh, Slovenia. Well, this year, obviously, we're not moving, but next year, who knows? Yes, I have already, passed with the car from Slovenia. It's an amazing country. So I would like to visit it better. Yeah. Um, Customary to flash every GT4 car? Well, not necessarily. If you are in a hurry, or if you see that the guy is ahead of you and might have not, understood what you're about to do, it's a good thing to flash. There's no big deal. Flash the guy. I mean, everybody does it. It's a good thing. You're putting yourself and the other guy into a safety position if you flash him because you are, but flash him only if you are about to do the move. If you are not about, if you are already decided to do the move, if you are away from him and you are flashing him just to tell him step aside because I'm arriving, that's not good. Okay, that's not good. That's not good etiquette, as we say. Ciao, Andy. Uh-huh. So, all right. So, okay. Yep. Okay. So let's. So we found out how Gergo overtook and went from third to second position. Well done. So let's go and find some extra traffic situation. Okay, here we are, somewhere around here. Yeah, you can see blue screen, so we are arriving again on another situation. Grazie, Parabellum. No, brake pads are identical, but how they react is different though, and we can talk about it in a minute. Yeah. So again, now you see, Gergo was behind the Turbiner with the Bentley, but the Bentley now has issues, so he's catching him. So as I said, don't get too excited, don't get too mental to overtake everybody instantly. Things are happening always, you know, in mixed races. Ciao, Jose. Very nice here, very nice here. Look at this. This is exactly what we were talking for all this hour. The Camaro is following the racing line and accelerates as hard as he can on the exit of the turn. No strange lines, no, what to do, where to go. Just follow the racing line. Following the racing line, I won't stop saying it. Following the racing line makes you predictable. And if you are predictable, the guy behind you understands that he has to do something else. That's all it needs. So look at Gergo here. He sees the Camaro following the racing line. No problems. No problems at all. No guesswork. Nothing. Look at the Ginetta. Follows the racing line now. No problems. Okay. Well, that's bad. That's bad because the Ginetta was following the racing line, and at some point it decided to stay on the inside. Now that's bad because look at how big of a problem and a risky situation this is. Let's see that again because it's really, really very important. So the Ginetta follows the racing line. So Gergo now follows the Ginetta, which follows the racing line. Haha, so now Gergo knows that the racing line goes wide, and then the Ginetta should, if the Ginetta follows the racing line, should go wide and then go back to the left again, to the left of the road, because that's the racing line. And so what Gergo does is he follows the racing line, staying behind the Ginetta here, because he expects that, okay, the Ginetta now will move, to the left, and I will go straight to the inner side of the road and overtake. But surprise, the Ginetta right on the last moment decides to not follow the racing line anymore. And that makes the Ginetta totally unpredictable. Look at this again. Look at this. Racing line, racing line, racing line, racing line, not racing line anymore. And not only that, it also breaks so much sooner. That's a big risk here. Look at this, guys. This is, there is no space for the GT3. The GT3 goes already down to over to the grass. This is the worst case scenario. Let's see it again one more. Ginetta, racing line, perfect racing line. So one expects that, okay, racing line, you're gonna go wide here and then back left, right? And the Ginetta says, oh no, I won't go to the racing line. I will stay on the inside to help you. Don't help me. Don't help me. Don't help me. Follow the racing line. Following the racing line, you remain predictable. Okay? And also, now he doesn't know what to do, panics and starts braking. Now that's... okay, this is luck. This is luck. They've managed to pull this out, but honestly, that was simply luck, So, Once again, and for the nth time, follow the racing line, stay predictable. Predictable. Okay. I mean, it's okay. Again, I don't want to tell, oh, look, the driver of the Ginetta, such a bad driver. No, 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 no. We shouldn't, we should never go over there. I mean, if I may, take example for myself. People coming to the chat, we have explained some things like 100 times in the previous videos. What do I usually do? I explain them again. Uh, the sim racing community, we have to get back to the days of Grand Prix Legends, of NASCAR, where everybody, we were a small community, but everybody was trying to help everybody. Nowadays, we have become a much bigger community. New people is coming in every day from other games, and we need to help people learn. It doesn't help if we are snobbies and we're like, oh, we have talked about this 1,000 times. Go fuck yourself. No, we have to help people. We have to help each other because, uh, I mean, if you don't ask, if you don't do mistakes, how are you going to learn things, new things? So the Ginetta driver is not a bad driver. Probably he's his first, mixed race. He never had a GT3 driver closing up to him so fast. So he did a mistake. I did a mistake before. So, and I'm explaining this stuff. So shit happens, as we said. The more we watch those things and the more we help each other, and the better the racing quality becomes. Okay? Right. Hello, Graziano. Okay, so again, no big deal here. Easy to overtake the McLaren, but obviously you have to wait for the Aston, which rightfully follows the racing line. You see how predictable was at the exit? No problem. Now, look at this. This is very interesting here. This is very interesting. Look at this. Now, obviously, Gergo tries to cut the Audi and overtake it, all right? But Gergo is not stupid. He's experienced sim racer. He's a good sim racer. And he sees that he has no way to cut the Audi before entering the turn. And so the Audi starts to follow the racing line, okay? Now, the Audi starts to follow the racing line, goes for the apex here. See what Gergo does? Completely off throttle, starts even to brake. Why? Because it is predictable what the Audi is going to do. It's going to follow the racing line. It's going to hit this apex and then the next one. That's predictability. He's behind the Audi. He has to wait it because it is absolutely certain that the Audi is going to hit the two apexes because he's in front of it and there is only one line to follow here. So what happens? What you have predicted. Now, he can try to go the outside and look at how fast he can go at GT3 car on the outside. That's how you do it. This is one of the best examples. Okay? I don't know nothing about stuff like that, like prices and rates and guys. Sorry about that. I'm not the correct guy to ask about it. You have to go through the official channels for this stuff. Okay, so again, traffic. The Bentley has traffic. Gergo is arriving. So the Bentley has, went far away. We might catch you, we might not, but in the meantime, you have to do what you have to do. There's another thing now. I'm stopping for a moment here because Juan says he thinks people move off the racing line probably because of what's done in Formula One under blue flags. Now, here's the situation. Well, first of all, Formula One is Formula One, just Formula One, okay? And you don't have many laps and overtakes to do, okay? You have a small amount of overtakes to do. And Formula One, you might laugh about it, but believe it or not, might be, agree or disagree with me, but at least in theory, and for sure for 90% of, you know, of the drivers, we are talking about the best 2024 drivers in the world. Best 20 or 24 drivers in the world. It might not be all of them, but trust me, they are the best. And they're the best because to arrive to Formula One, they have done all kinds of racing series in their career, even if they are 18 years old. They have done everything and they managed to drive, lap after lap with consistency, a car that does from minimum 3 Gs to 6 Gs, lateral or longitudinal, at every corner or braking zone. This is mind blowing. People watching Formula One on TV and say, "Oh, yeah, that's boring. They're doing that." But if you just stop for a moment and think about it, that your head weighs, I don't know, 6 kilos, something like that, and when you are braking, it's 36 kilos, 64, whatever. I mean, that's mind blowing. And they manage to brake at the limit and overtake and drive, and it's the speed of Formula One, especially nowadays Formula One, is mind blowing. Okay, so yes, of course, those guys know when to pull aside and let the other guys go through. They also have radios that they're telling them, the number one driver, the P1 is arriving, and so on and so on. So lots of different things happening. In mixed races of GT racing, you have so many overtaking going on that it doesn't pay to move aside. You will be stopped every time. I mean, look at how many cars we have here, and the GT3 will overtake all of them. So it's a different situation, and you have many customer drivers. They're not professional drivers. All of them, actually, more than half, they are customer drivers. So here in GT racing, it pays to stay predictable, okay, and let the faster car decide what it wants to do. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Now look at here what is happening. Am I the guy here? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I'm the one. Here I am again. No, let's move to Gergo instead. So Gergo is following me. Now this time I make it clear that I'm going to the outside. Now look at this. Now I'm keep accelerating, but I'm making clear by moving to the outside that pick the inside and just move away. Now this is a situation of experience. Now I just told you, okay, don't move, stay predictable. But in this situation, you know that this curve here is flat out, and the GT3 can stay easily on the inside. So when you are moving like this, you are saying to the GT3 car, you know what, just go. I won't be here for you. But to do so, you have to remain flat out. You don't have to raise your foot, and you have to know what you're doing. So generally, I would say don't do that if you don't know what you're doing and if you don't know who you have behind you. Okay. Now, again, in this situation, I have behind me Gergo. I know that he will go for the apex. I would just stay a little bit wider for the apex so that he has all the free air to go inside like this. Easy. Okay? But that's a specific situation. Martin. So, what happened here now? So Gergo is about to do his own mistake. Nobody's perfect. Gergo is here? I didn't see. Oh, hi, Gergo. How you doing, mate? Cool. Okay, so Gergo now is mistaking. Ooh, big oversteer. He had to catch the car, and now he's going wide. He's going very wide. Now, what is happening now? Gergo goes back in, and ooh, that's a mistake. That's both an accident and a mistake from Gergo, and an accident from my side. So let's have a look here this time. So this time, this is the view from my side. Okay. So I see Gergo just disappearing, and I'm following Vons here, which we had an amazing fight, which I have to thank him for the amazing fight that we had in the last laps. So Gergo now is like, adios, because he cannot control the car. And I can see Gergo clearly. He's, going outside. He won't be able to maintain control. So what I do, I focus on the car in front of me, because I say, okay, this guy is gone. He will, wait and get in slower. Now, unfortunately, I cannot see Gergo anymore. Okay, and I'm focusing directly on Vons in front of me, and I still cannot see Gergo. And probably also Gergo cannot see me. He cannot see me. Now, we should have been, experienced enough to understand that, okay, the other guy hasn't vanished and Gergo hasn't vanished, so we should be somewhere there. But we are not Formula One drivers. In the end of the story, we are just, sim racers, not even the best of the sim racers. We are good enough, but, we're not the best of the aliens, or we don't have that much of racing experience. So each one of us thinks, I'm free. Okay, full attack. I will go in, and Gergo thinks, okay, I will regain position, and I'm thinking, okay, full attack. I have some space here. I have to go get closer to Vons. And at some point, I see on my... Why am I going wide here? Look at this. I'm going wide because I see on my radar, because we cannot see the radar here, I see on my radar that someone is approaching from the other side, and I'm like, fuck Gergo. Not fuck Gergo, but fuck Gergo. So at this point, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm trying to go a little bit wide. I don't know what to do exactly. So, okay, I will go wide. And obviously the same thing happens here to Gergo, which is like, okay, let me go in. I mean, oh, what is that? Ginetta, where is this? Oh, it's Aris, So he tries to stay on the grass, and this is one of the classical things of shit happens, but also, you know what? You have gone wide outside the track. You have to rejoin the track carefully. In this occasion, it's more shit happens. We couldn't see each other, and we thought, okay, either the Aris or Gergo, waited, and unfortunately, we were at the same point. Now, luckily enough, again, we were using the radar, so Gergo tried to stay on the grass, and I tried to go outside. But shit happens always, admit it. Okay, you can get also angry, of course, because we are humans, and we're like, oh, what the fuck, stuff like that. But then again, okay, forget it. Let's move on. And of course, yeah, we move on. Obviously, Gergo can overtake here easily, and I can get back, on my racing and get to follow. Yeah, punctuation is very, very important. Fuck, comma, Gergo. Now the yes, exactly. Okay, now. So one of the things here is indicators. Now we promote the use of indicators, and we say use the indicators to show where you're going. That's correct, but it's also not always easy. I mean, I prefer you guys to stay safe and in control of the car instead of like, oh, where I'm going, all the indicate, what should I, oh, boom, you know. So if you can, beforehand put an indicator and show where you want to stay, that is the best thing to do. But if you're inside the turn and you're trying to understand what to do, I mean, forget about the indicators. Just stay safe. Safety first. Okay, so let's see. Yes, we can see probably a couple of things on the last laps because I see some traffic here. Ah, Zordier is here. Hello, mate. Oh, spoiler. Zordier is spoilering everything. Let me see from Zordier. Where is he? Oh, he's here. On the Camaro, he's drifting again. That's why he's so slow. Every time he's like, ah. Yeah, look at him. Again. Alright, so Gergo, he's approaching. And Gergo's like, attack, full attack. I have to get to number one first. The big one. Now again, you can see here how Gergo shows the Maserati what he intends to do. Now you can see here, before the braking zone, Gergo says, you know what, I'm going. So the Maserati stays on the outside, and the GT3 goes away. I don't even want to know who that pink, that pink Alpine was. Because I just don't want to know. I have an idea, but I don't want to know. Okay, once again, Gergo easily overtook also the Mercedes. We saw the first one already, Zordier. Hi, mate. So let's move a little bit forward. Right. Something tells me that he will dive bomb him again at the same turn again, as usual. Now here is interesting because you can see Gergo going to the inside and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And, he shouldn't. But it's Gergo. In front of us we have Zordier. I mean, he even told him, I'm gonna do it, So it is a good thing to show yourself and, say, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. That's not the perfect turn to do so. But who cares? It's Zordier. I mean, he has to suffer. So, boom, dive bomb like no tomorrow went. Jesus, what was that? Come on, guys. I mean, seriously. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, let's see that again. But I mean, honestly, like 10 meters and like, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna get in. Let's see that from inside Zordier. All right, yeah. So here he is, and he's like, okay, what should I do? I have to make the turn anyway. Whatever. It was like, and of course he's flashing. But dev hack, so we don't care about it. And if he doesn't like it, we will ban him. Hello, mate! Alright, so here it is. We are the last lap. So because we are almost on the last lap here, I will actually go directly on the last lap. Switch on to me, and now where am I? I'm like here somewhere, and I want you to show you, and especially show Kevin, how you do fuel estimation. because obviously I'm fighting as hell. I'm giving all I have to the car, and unfortunately it doesn't show here how much fuel I have because it's not my replay. But we are right on the last lap, last turn. I try. Vons amazingly defends his position excellently, so I have no way to go. I'm trying, and you can see now the revs here. Here is the end of the lap, and I have no fuel anymore. And Kevin, that is how you do it. Yes, efficiency. All right, so that was it. So this is how you race in a mixed in a mixed class situation. I hope you guys liked it. I hope that you've learned some scenarios. You've learned some how to to do some stuff. I hope that what we discussed here tonight will help everybody to become a better driver in such situation. So in the meantime, as I said, a friend is probably updating his application. So let's have a look at the chat and see if this is already the situation. So let's have something special here, right? For everybody that is following right now, which, by the way, I can see 431 concurrent viewers. Wow. So, NC. Right, release time. So, NC Ferrum just released his amazing application. He's updated ACC CDS. So, complete dash set for Assetto Corsa Competizione is updated version 1.6. You can go and get it here, I believe. Right now, this is you need Sim Hub, but then you need the link that I believe NC will give me in a minute so that I can give it to you. I don't know if you know about ACC Complete Dash Set. It is practically a plugin for Assetto Corsa, Competizione, and other sims, and Sim Hub Dash. And if you have whatever second monitor, small device, or whatever, it can recreate the dashes of all the cars into those monitors. So for those of you that have, big rigs and drive very closely because you have, I don't know, three monitors, whatever, and you drive very close to the dash and you cannot see the actual digital dash, you can use a different monitor and you can have all the dash exactly as they are in game in front of your monitor. So it's pretty cool. Um, Pretty cool application. It's just updated now also for GT4 cars, and I know lots of you like to use this application. So Hans is a great guy, always uh, always supporting us, and I think I should support him too by announcing his update on his application. Right. Okay, so that's it for racing. So what I would like to do tonight, I have some time. I believe I have still some forces on me. Um, I would like to, yeah. So I would like to go and do some laps with the Mercedes GT3. Yes, I know GT3. Boo, GT3. I would like to do some laps with the Mercedes GT3 at Barcelona, because as you know, we are going to participate on 1st of August at the 6 hours endurance of Racing Club International League. And I will be participating on the 6 hours together with Gergo and Kevin. So the Kunus Racing team comes back again. And what are we going to do? We have qualification race tomorrow. I think I will live stream it if I manage to, make my times, because I also have some errands to do. But if I manage to do everything properly, I will live stream it tomorrow. I think from 5 o'clock in the evening, something like that. It's a small qualification race, nothing too big. Um, and and I need to do some practice. I haven't done any practice at all except the circuit walk that we did, the last week. But since then, I haven't done any practice at all. So I need to do some practice, and I need to start, creating a setup, at least a basic setup to keep us, safe for tomorrow qualification race. And see if you give me the link, I can post it to the chat. All right. So as we said, Barcelona. Where is it? Here it is. Let's do some practice. Let's not go into strange things here. Atox, yeah, Atox said I had to say some things about the brake pads. Right. So brake pads are the same, but GT4 cars use brake pads differently. And what I mean by that, I mean that you have to brake a lot. The cars are very heavy, especially the heavyweight ones. They don't have enough downforce, so the braking zones are longer, and the ABS works differently, and they tend to overheat the brakes. So keep an eye, use usually as high ducts, as open ducts as possible with the GT4 cars, because the cars tend to overheat, and heat is your worst enemy. Heat is the worst enemy of every racing car. And the more you overheat the brake pads, the more you wear them down. So even if the brake pads mm, should be able to do 12 hours, let's say, brake pads do. On a GT4 car, if they are overheating, they might, in the end, last much, much less. So watch out. Alpha Man, thank you so much, mate. What are you doing today? So what should I fix? If you have two monitors full screen, work on one, and on the another one, you can do other things. I don't know about that. Have no idea. I will have to test and try, because I have no idea about that. Mr. Novotny, yes, I also use 900 degrees on the steering wheel and on the options inside the control panel of the game. 900 degrees, that's it. The most important thing now, I know that in the consoles there's probably a bug somewhere and that doesn't work so well. But the most important thing that you need to have is that when, for example, you turn your steering wheel 90 degrees, the virtual steering wheel should also turn 90 degrees. If you see different degrees on the virtual steering wheel, then you have offset, you have bad things, you have things happening, and that's not good. So this is the main thing you have to check out. If that doesn't happen, somewhere in your configuration you have wrong degrees, and things do not work properly. All right. No, Parabellum. Unfortunately, I don't have a Discord server for community. Uh, Let me also repeat again um, this thing. Um we use Discord for work with my colleagues, and because of that, I tend to not accept friendships, not reply to messages from Discord. I tend to ignore everything. They are in the ignore list, everything, because we need to work every day. We use Discord. We like Discord a lot, so we use it to work. And because of that, we have to stay, of course, focused. You can only understand and imagine what happens, with people, getting into Discord, trying to contact me or contact my colleagues. So we tend to use Discord exclusively for work, and so we don't reply on messages on Discord. Very, very rarely, but usually we don't. Sorry about that, but it's a survival mode for us to work. Uh, in consoles, it shouldn't be like that, but I've heard from other people that it is like that, and I believe there is some bug somewhere there. I know the guys are working already to fix stuff, so patch is very, very close. So let's see after the patch what happens. if it's still like this, it's not going to be the only patch. The guys will keep on working and patching the game during summer. So rest assured that fixes and corrections are on their way. All right. Oops, I didn't want to press start. So let's go back for a moment. Okay, so did you know that we have new libraries? I mean, look at that stuff, huh? And look at this stuff. Oh, okay, I mean, this is already here, but we do have some extra stuff here. I mean, Gergo knows much more about. I mean, nice. This is classical. This I think is new. That's pretty nice. Huh? We have some new libraries here and skins. So you can't say we haven't updated the GT3 cars. I think those were already in. Yeah, that one too. And that one too. Okay, so what we should do, that's nice. Let's get this banana with the extra lollipop whatever colors. Okay, let's get this and go to Barcelona. Let's pick different time, something late in the night or in the evening, so it's more interesting. I think so. I don't know if you have put new ones for the Ferrari. Let me check. So Ferrari, where is that? Ferrari. So that's the Rinaldi. Yes, I think this one is new, right? Then we have this one. No, that's already here. Also this one, yeah. That could be, that's nice. Kessel. SMP. No, I remember that be really nice. This one, maybe this one is new. That's pretty impressive. Wow. Look at this beauty. Wow. Impressive library. Really, really cool. Big thanks to team. Nice. Okay. But let's go back and get our Mercedes. Which one was it? This one. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Confirm. Hello, Daniel. Okay, so let's go in. And start doing some laps. So just aggressive for now because I have no idea what I'm going to do. I remember I did some laps the other time, but I don't remember even what lap time I was able to do. Okay, so let's drive. We're gonna do, our classic stuff. So right now, so we're gonna check our pressures as usual, and pressures first, then analyze a bit the handling, and do some right height changing. Not Andy. And right height. That's it. That's gonna be our driving for tonight. A little bit on the tired side, so I'm not going, to do big things. too late on the brakes. Late on the apex. let me eliminate as usual the mirrors to have the best frame rate for you guys and for me. Off. Okay, that's better. And let's go. The cars on the console are much faster. That seems strange to me. I hope that's not the case, and I will have to investigate if that's the case. Όχι ιδιαίτερα τζιξερόβιε. Αν είναι λίγο δεν υπάρχει πρόβλημα. Κάμπερ ναι. Το όχι. Μην το κάνεις. Pressure are a little bit on the downside. We can fix that. Still warming up, not driving well for now. I would like some less oversteer under acceleration. I hope they haven't done the comparison at Silverstone 2018 on one and 2019 on the other, because they are the tracks that they are extremely different in grip. I haven't seen the video, but maybe if you can check the video fast and see if they are at Silverstone, then we have an explanation. Also some oversteer sometimes in turning like that. The console, I mean, as we said, the physics are the same, so other than some differences in lap times because of the version, so it might be, you know, that some cars have different BOPs and fine-tuning, but we're talking small stuff, obviously. We're not talking 2 minutes, in 2 seconds of distance. There shouldn't be anything else. finally concentrating a little bit. At the front, the pressures are not bad. At the rear, they're not so good. But I'm afraid to go on the accelerator, so there's certainly some problems in terms of power oversteer here.
By the way, the fastest lap so far.
Yeah, exactly. Lancia Delta. Cosa c'entra? Ah, per AC. E non c'era la licenza all'epoca, era impossibile all'epoca. Cioè, Lancia all'epoca chiedeva soldi assurdi per la Delta. Perciò, nada. Yeah, console is 1.3.7, so. Ciao Alessandro. My vacation has started. It's soft vacation for now, so I'm still behind the. I mean, I'm not behind the monitor anymore, but I'm just, watching around. If there is any, urgent hot fix to do, will be available. But it seems everything is going pretty well, so the other devs are taking care of it. And next week, I might, I'm on proper vacation, although I will stay at home, nothing serious. Just not watching too much at the monitor and eating more and drinking more. Oops, I wanted to go on the pits. Sorry about that. Alright, so we need to raise up a little bit the pressures at the rear mainly. Because at some point we had 27.5 at the front. So let's go up one here. Sorry, but we still had 26.9, 26.8 at the rear. So let's go up by 7 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a little bit more here. 8, 9, something like that. So, and that's 1. Now, the other thing that I would like to change here. Well, Diesel will keep in mind. Now, of course, the engine placement does play a role in corner speed, of course. But keep in mind that the Mercedes is a mid-engine front, but mid-engine car too. Because yes, the engine is at the front, but it is basically at the middle of the car again. The most important factor, though, for speed into the mid-turn is aerodynamics. So if your car creates a lot of, aerodynamics and also has a low center of gravity, this is where it wins. All right, so as I said, thanks you, Godspeed. What do you mean steering feels more firm, and why that is worse than before? I don't know. Useless caster, maybe. Okay, so we have some power oversteer, which means, especially in slow turns, every time I go on the power, I have oversteer. which is typical for this car. So I will try to go with, trying to get more mechanical grip traction. So I will try to get something like, 2 clicks less anti-roll bar at the rear, which is the classical thing to do. Now, it might not work because we know that with those cars, sometimes it's the aerodynamics that play the most important role. But usually I have the problem on slow turns, so maybe that will help us. Um, I also had some issues with braking, turning in oversteer. So I will raise 2 clicks the front wheel rate too, which again will help me with traction at the rear because the front will be stiffer, and that might give me a better traction. Now all of that might give me more understeer also at the fast turns, which I don't like. But let's see what happens next. Well, roll affects aero in similar way as right head. You have less right head at one part of the car and high right head at the other part of the car. So if you think about it, you get an idea what is happening. Dampers here, we might can do something about that, but okay, let's go as we are and see what we can do. Okay, so couple of clicks at a time, and let's see what is going to happen. The arrow here, it's a little bit on the high, on the rear. We'll see. Uh, well, let's see. Let's see. It's a particular car, It has so much torque, so you need all the traction you can get to make a lap time with this car. Because obviously, when you have a car with such a torque, you really want to get advantage of it. But to get advantage, you need to keep the traction move forward instead of spinning. Let's see. It might be completely wrong. So if it's wrong, we go back again and then use something different. Well, yes, it's whoops. Whoa. What am I doing? Drifter! I remind you guys, realignment. You have to be very fast on the realignment. I'm gonna do a fast cut of that explanation we did last stream. It's important, especially with the GT4 cars. We'll talk about that. Okay, let's heat up everything properly. Yeah, that's what you're true about that. So it might be, completely wrong. As I say, it's not like we have the crystal ball. We try things in our mind that might be correct. I remind you that it's the first time I'm trying this car properly since a very long time. So it's easy that I might not remember how I have to set it up. So we'll try, 4 laps again, and we'll see if something changed for the better or for the worse. No, that's not the racing line through that corner. That wasn't the racing line. Car still a bit on the cold side, but already too much pressure on the rear. Oh, actually it's good. So the traction was much better now. Yeah, traction is very good now. It seems a bit. Ma non saprei. Second gear here. Why I'm always putting first gear? Because I'm reading the chat too much. That's why. Okay, let me answer this first. So Parabellum says about safety rating. Is there a way to punish dive bomber that are so fast to hit you before the corner and then throw you out of the track, ruining your race? Well, first of all, if it was easy, we would have done it. If you see no other video game, simulator, whatever, do this, then probably we have a problem. Why? What happens if the guy in front of you breaks and test breaks you before that? It's not an easy thing to resolve. Truth to be told, Assetto Corsa Commissione already tries to understand if the guy in front, started braking beforehand, or if the guy behind tries to do a dev bomb by, comparing the speeds. It's not always easy. It's not at all a simple problem to resolve. The punishing both is always the best second, solution. It's the most fair solution. I'm sure you're gonna say, no, it's not fair because every time. No, it's the most fair when you don't have another solution, because in the end, the good driver will go up slowly, even with the worst luck possible, will go up slowly in safety rating, and the bad driver will go down in safety rating. Okay, in the end, it's a statistical situation. If you're not going up in safety rating, then I have bad news for you. It means that either you're doing something wrongly all the time and you are not, understanding yet what you're doing wrongly, or you are going into the bad servers usually. And if you say, but I have a low safety rating, of course I'm going to go to the wrong servers. Well, try different tracks, because I've seen so many people complaining about safety rating, and every time they're posting videos of all this one and that one, and it's always at Monza. Don't go at Monza, for fuck's sake. I mean, of course you're gonna find all the bad drivers at Monza. Try a hard track, Don't try to win every time. Try to race, because safety rating promotes racing. It doesn't promote competitiveness. If you are low in safety rating, try first to race, don't try to win. And then after your safety rating goes up to 60, 70, and so you can go into good servers, try to win afterwards. There's many things you can do to get better safety ratings. Statistically, if you're doing the things properly, you're gonna go up. Some people might, need 1 week. Some people might need 1 month. But statistically, you're gonna go up in safety rating. Okay. Well, it depends. GT4 racing obviously permits more, more fights and more bumping without penalizing much the safety rating. So it depends. How many guys? So many. No worries, Fabian. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. I need to go down to 45s at least today. I mean, I know that in safety rating sometimes you get unfair results. I know. It's what we said before. Shit happens. But again, I remind you, statistically, if you are, driving properly, you are going to go up. Always. that was bad. I don't know about that. CP races, those are, you know, questions for Kevin, honestly, because I don't have the time to commit to CP races, competitive races, so I don't know what to tell you, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Reconsider GT3 aerial at low speeds. What do you mean by that? If you expect the GT3 cars at low speeds to drift, that won't happen. They don't work like that because the whole setup is much different. They're much stiffer. The aero still works even at slow speeds. Don't believe the hype of, you know, the journalists that say, oh, at slow speeds there's no aero. No, there's tons of aero still at low speed, and the cars are still, you know, sensitive in the aero at low speed. The tires are different. The engines are extremely more aggressive and powerful. The cars are lighter for more, you know, power. So many things to consider. Because they have the same engine. The AMG GT4 uses the same engine as the Aston Martin GT3. Obviously different turbo pressures, different exhaust, but the engine is the same. That's why it reminds you a similar sound. While the Mercedes GT3 uses the old naturally aspirated SLS engine. Okay, so should we do some question and answers, or would you guys let me do a couple of laps? I don't know about that, Moreno. For all that stuff, you have to go, you know, on the forums and write. Thank you so much, Boki. Thanks so much, mate. Thank you for the support. You guys are amazing. We also love you. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this every day. Traction is good now, and really push. There's something that I don't really like on the turn in. It seems at times that the car doesn't go exactly where I point it to go. Traction is very good. That was completely my mistake. But still, I've managed to pull it off somehow. Oh, that's an interesting lap time now. 45.1. I like that as the first try. Something here I don't like. Something here I don't like. Okay, so let's go back to the pitch for a moment. Yeah, I can see we have a bit of a high rear pressure here. So let's go a bit down here. Yeah, that's too high. One, two, three, four, five. This is good. This goes okay at some turns, and this was also okay. So something is not correct when I'm braking and going turning, and I find myself usually to be a bit too much inside or a bit too much outside. So I'll have to understand. Thank you so much, Stuart. I'm very happy that you're doing this kind of exploration. This is one of the things I also like. When I love a setup and I feel the car properly and I like it, uh, I also say, okay, what if that's it doesn't really matter to think, okay, yeah, that's fast. I have to go faster. You think about it and say, okay, what if I go to the other side? Can I find an equal, good setup or even better in a completely different operational window? That's really cool. Ah, yeah, that's strange, right? Sector that you go into turning and the car is like, oh, I want to turn a lot, and then it goes understeer, and then it goes, hmm, that's strange. I don't know, guys. Is there a problem? I don't know. I'll have to go there and see if there is a problem. But let me save first. So let's well, we don't need those anymore, and we don't need those anymore. So let's save this. Barcelona ambient 28 T33. This is race, let's say, because it is the first one with 62 liters. Not bad lap time. So let's save it as one. Right. Bonsoir, Mike Mika. Okay, so what did we wanted to do? All right. So what can we do? Ah, okay. So there is a problem with the hosting of our lobby and stuff. So there's some main server problem. So let's do practice and have and wait for the solution. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. Okay, so now what can we do? Oh, we have pretty low rear wing here. Uh, you know what? So here's an interesting thing I want to also tell you, which many cars, GT3 cars, suffer for this a lot. Actually, pretty much all racing cars, but GT3 cars are so sensitive that they feel it even more. So, as you know, the brake pads, the brakes, the efficiency of the brakes in general depends a lot on the temperature, and especially with high performance racing brakes, the efficiency of the brakes uh, is in a relatively narrow temperature range. Okay, so say that you get from 20 degrees up to 700 degrees. Okay, you get the best possible braking performance from 400 degrees, 450 degrees to 650 degrees, and that's even a wide range, right? So before that, the braking performance is not that good, and after that again it's not that good. So the braking performance, so the friction that the brake pads do to the brake discs, is at the top, let's say, at a limited temperature range. Okay, now when you are braking, usually you arrive from a long straight and your brakes obviously have to cool down in a way that when you are start braking again at the end of the braking zone, the pads and disc temperature do not go much higher than 650 degrees Celsius or 700 degrees Celsius, already a little bit too much. All right. So uh, you want to keep them cool so that when you're going on the braking, they heat up, they arrive at the maximum, and then your braking is done and you let go, but you have achieved the best possible braking zone. Now, if you are not looking closely at what happens with the braking ducts and the brake temperatures, it might happen, and that happens also in the real cars a lot, that your rear uh, uh, brake pads and discs arrive at the optimal temperature very late in the braking zone. Okay. And usually that happens also when you are trying to turn in. So you are modulating the brake pressure, releasing the front brakes, okay, slowly. You're also releasing the rear brakes, but at the same point, the rear brakes are coming into play because their braking temperature rises and goes right at the end into the correct zone, which means that you have the rear brakes now braking as much as they can, and somehow the brake bias starts to move at the rear like this. So you have to be careful and watch, and this is something that you can also check in the telemetry possibly, and watch what your brake temperature is while you are trying to turn in with the car. If you see that for the whole braking zone the rear brakes are cold and they just get green right on the brake on the turn in, then maybe it's the correct point to lower the brake ducts at the rear. It might be the contrary, so you see that the rear brake ducts are still green 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 through the whole braking zone, and towards the end they become a little bit yellowish, so you have to open more the brake ducts. So that can obviously change the handling of the car. So that's another thing to watch. Team Boyle forum is the best way. Please add logs and everything if you want to report the bug. Dazzler says, I never go full load the front right head. As you know, usually I create race setups, usually. And you don't want to overdo it because of two main reasons. First of all, and most importantly, you don't want to hit the curbs with your front splitter because it unbalances the car. It loses you time. It creates the car, to be not extremely stable during the curbs and so on. And that's the main reason. The second reason, which is more subtle and takes some, uh, practice from your side to understand what is happening. You can also check it on the telemetry, but let's go into that. Let's stay on the basic. If you want stuff for telemetry, etc., we might do a specific, stream just for telemetry, and it won't be enough. Or even better, there are many guys out there that have YouTube channels that go deep into telemetry. Maybe you can go there and learn the basics and learn stuff more important over there. I prefer to maintain the channel on the basics that you can do. Okay, let's go in, drive a bit, do proper practice, learn stuff without going crazy. Because telemetry will tell you nothing, nothing at all, if you haven't learned how to read the patterns. And to learn how to read the patterns, you need two things: either lots of practice with telemetry labs made from a good driver, and so you get months and months and months of reading the telemetry until you start to understand by talking with a good driver uh, the patterns, or months and months and months reading the telemetry and understanding the patterns if you are already a good driver. Because if you're not a good driver and you're not consistent, you won't find the patterns, and the telemetry will confuse you even more. So be very careful if you say, oh, yeah, I will go to the telemetry and find everything about it. You'll find nothing if you don't know how to learn the patterns, and if you're not consistent enough, or if you don't have a friend which is a good driver and also good to give you feedback and tell you, I feel this. Can you find it in the telemetry? You go to the telemetry, you find the pattern, and you try to fix it together with him. Or you have to be consistent yourself. If you're not consistent and you go into the telemetry and you don't know how to read the pattern, it's going to be worst possible scenario. Lots of confusion. Okay. Thank you so much, Ahmad. No, no, the airflow graphics are staying like that from graphics, user interface stuff. It would be impossible to do real time graphics here from the airflow. I mean, it's still it's still a normal PC. You need server farms to do proper CFD. The brake pressure doesn't change, but the brake friction coefficient does change with the temperature. And of course, if you have a friction coefficient that stays stable at the front but raises at the rear, that means that your brake balance, the actual brake balance, not the brake balance that you see here. This is just a number here. Okay, it means nothing in reality. In reality, when you're braking, the coefficient of friction between the pads and the discs can modify the actual brake balance front and rear as you're driving. That number doesn't changes, but the actual what happens on the brakes does change. Okay. You want real-time CFD? Okay, in 20 years, 30 years, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea, Chris. Sorry. Yes, Christian, there is a problem with the lobby server. They have already talked about it. There's a global problem with our lobby servers right now. So unfortunately, nobody can connect. There's a big problem. Okay, so did I did something? No, I did nothing yet. Um, Well, brake power have some. I mean, you can use brake power different if you're driving the Maserati or the Porsche Cup without ABS. But with cars with ABS, especially with lots of downforce, go 100%. You know, as much as possible. Thanks, Gergo. Thanks, Gergo, for the clarification. So Gergo says it's not the lobby; it's the hosting data center that's having an outage. Makes sense. Diesel compression of the bump stop itself. So that's why in telemetry, you will find there is a channel that says the suspension is touching the bump stop or not. So from the moment that the suspension is touching the bump stop, you have the channel that says on, off, which means, okay, I'm touching the bump stop. Then you can measure the suspension travel and you can find out how much the bump stop is compressed. Right. Nordschleife, drink. Daniel, what you can do to increase tire temps? You are already on proper tire pressures, GT4. Well, you can use a stiffer suspension, stiffer dampers, for example. You can use more camber, for example. You can use more toe, negative or positive. More will, create more friction and will hit your tires more. Don't expect miracles. It's not like you will gain 10 or 20 degrees. Okay, if you gain 5 degrees or 6, it's already too much. But beware, if you gain, also you can close the brake ducts. You close the brake ducts so your brakes are hotter and they heat up the tires too. Okay, that's also very, very important. That also might also give you some miracles. So even 10 degrees different. But keep in mind that if the tire temperatures go up, you will have to change again your tire pressure, because also your tire pressure will rise. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hello, γεια σου Κωνσταντίνε. All right. So I don't even know if I did something here. No, I wanted to make the front end more precise. The Cayman has also normal liveries. The generic liveries were asked, I believe, from Porsche. The McLaren hasn't raced in in um, in SRO for various reasons, but together with SRO and the McLaren, they asked to put the car inside. They wanted it both to be in, and so we gave you a gift practically, something like that. No, not initial force dazzle, force at 10 millimeters compression of the bump stop. We cannot make a Formula One simulator. Okay, so how do I make my front end? I could lower the bump stop here. You know what? Let's make the let's make the front wheel rate higher. But that will make the front tires hotter, and it will consume them even more. But Chris, that seems extremely low to me. Something is wrong there. You probably have to check something else, because it doesn't seems a good number, honestly. Because with I have a Ryzen 3600X and NVIDIA 1080, and as you can see, I get tons of frame rate. 570 should be similar to 1080 NVIDIA. So yeah, I could lower the bump stop, but usually the Mercedes doesn't really need a lot of bump stop. But you know what I could do? I could do this. So so let's go back again, down here. Okay, we were at 130, and I will go. Oops, we have a bug here. What happened? Why this doesn't work? That's interesting. Why my telemetry doesn't work? This is a bug. 1. Oh, we found the bug. Interesting. Set up again. Oh, that's strange. For whatever reason, it blocked here the screen. Let me point this out and take a note so that we can try and fix it. Okay. It is already reported. All right, thanks about that. So it seems that it works, but for whatever reason, the visualization here, it gets locked. Okay, so here's what I'm doing now. I'm going back to 130 as we were before, but I'm going to get, lower bump stops, but soft bump stops. Let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. Okay, let's go out again. So let's see if we can do a 44 tonight. I'm 47 going 48. Well done, Ture. Thanks, guys. Oh, way too much. Oh, made it. But truth to be told, I might be, that thing of the steering wheel might be because I've been driving GT4 for a lot of time lately, obviously, and they all have much higher steering ratios. So I might be turning my steering wheel way too much right now. Some of the oversteer underpower got back, but pressures are still low, so no, it might be just the pressures. Let's wait. More oversteer than before. Yeah. Lost all my time here. Ah, come on. The car turns a little bit too more on costing. A little bit too much on costing. Nice. Go, 44. Come on. Oh, it's not valid. Because of the stupid error before. At T3. Okay, that's better here. Look at the left. The left front tire is on fire. Damn. On fire. Yeah.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Interesting. Not good. Bit on the edge here. Better here than before. Very bad. Ah, somehow I did it. I'm losing time now, but made it. Okay, 44.8. We're getting better. We're getting better. So what can we do now? Let's see how much graining we have at the front, because I'm afraid that this track is gonna be terrible. Ah, oh no, I like. But look at the look at the consumption. I mean, we have 10 uh, 0.10 millimeters more consumption tire wear at the front left than the front right. Tricky stuff. T11. Yeah, probably. I'm still exploring, the track, so I don't know. Yeah, 44.5. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get down to 44 by before the race. 44 flats, maybe some 43. The caster is already too high, about 12 degrees. But whoops, I've just switched off the monitor. Very nice. Yeah, there's lots to be gained yet from pure driving, because I'm not driving very well. I could raise the camber, but I don't want to. And actually, I probably will go and lower the toe, because we will have to maintain the tires as fresh as possible for the race at Barcelona, because Barcelona is going to be terrible for the tires. Terrible already. I mean, how many laps did we did? Nothing, and look at that. Terrible. What else we could do? Uh, not only the tire scrubbing, but most importantly, if you're overdoing it, that's also a good test to do. Okay, so if you go over it, will start to feel a little bit of a vibration. It's very subtle, but it's there. It's a little bit something like that. When you are there and you feel that vibration, you have to go back by, I don't know how many degrees are, but it's not like from here to here. It's not. Don't go back to from listening the vibration to not listening the vibration. That's too small. Go even less. Usually try to. There is a point that you think that that's all. The steering input you need to give, but in reality, with just a hint less of steering wheel, but a hint less of a steering wheel, you might get even. I mean, or actually the same lateral grip and turning, or even just a tiny bit even better. Okay, so that's why I've been telling people since the start of Assetto Corsa Competizione, GT3 cars are professional racing cars that have become almost, you know, prototypes. Okay, and it means that it asks from the driver to be very precise, okay, and give very specific driving inputs, both from the pedals, from the steering wheel, from everything. Okay, if you are driving like an animal and giving too much steering and using way too much stuff, not only you will not get proper performance, but you will also destroy your tires, and most importantly, and that is what unfortunately we are battling with, that and it's not easy, it will give you a flat feeling of force feedback if you are here. So let's say the limit is here. Okay, now if you are here you feel something, and if you are here you feel the same. If you're like this, like that, you feel the same steering feeling, and your obviously your perception will be, oh, Assetto Corsa has a very flat force feedback and I cannot feel nothing. Why is that? Because the actual changes in force feedback in Assetto Corsa Competizione, if the for example, for a given corner, the uh, peak of the lateral grip is here. Okay, so you have a corner that you have to turn like this to have the peak of the lateral grip. The change in force feedback will be felt from here to here. So that this is where you're gonna feel the change. If you're here, you will feel the same as here. You will feel nothing, flatness. Why? Because you have already gone from the peak down to the flatness. There is a plateau to the curve after the peak, and that plateau is somewhere here. That you do that, the car doesn't steer anymore, and you feel nothing extra on the steering wheel. And if you're doing like this, you obviously won't feel also the vibration that it's there to keep to tell you that you're scrubbing, no? Because actually the tire is sliding, and by sliding it moves the footprint, it moves and vibrates because it goes into grip and slides again, grip and slides again. So it keeps on flexing laterally and longitudinally, and that gives you the small vibration. That vibration is actually coming directly from the physics of the footprint, which is trembling while scrubbing. Um, all right, so uh, what is the vibration stuff that was mentioned in the change log? I don't remember. I think it's something for the pedals, something like for extra vibration, but it's from stuff inside the steering wheel, so nothing to do, I believe, with full physics. Um, all right, so we did that. Uh, let's try to give it some less bump stop, not by much. That's 8. Okay, so a couple of clicks. Let's try this and see if we can make the front tire suffer a little bit less, if possible, and if we can gain something, because there is a tiny bit of understeer here and there. Uh, we'll see. Placebo confirmed. Um, I can also raise the difference between the anti-roll bars. You know what I would like to try? I mean, I would try right now as it is, and then I would like to go full bananas with the front anti-roll bar, take it to 9, for example, or 8, something like that. Okay, and move by 3 also the rear, so both front and rear go something like that. I would like to see that. Those are, yes, for the physics API. Yeah. That's for the, I believe, for the output, so that people, with motion platforms and stuff can implement even extra stuff. All right, so let's go. For sure, Menno, for sure. But even with your old gear, I mean, I stop you here. This is something that happens. People arrive, for example, from Assetto Corsa 1. I wouldn't say other sims, but for Assetto Corsa 1, they are used with Assetto Corsa 1 to go to the force feedback and put plenty of rod effects. Okay, why? Because I want the steering wheel to move around a lot and trebles, and that feels feedback. That's not feedback. Okay, this is a fake effect, which actually it's not fake. It amplifies the suspension movement. So when you go forward in a flat circuit like the modern ones, all right, um, and there is some suspension movement. If the suspension is well made, as happens with the modern GT3 cars, there is no bump steer, which means that while the suspension goes up and down, the the tire remains straight. It doesn't move forwards and backwards. This is called, bump steer. So the tire, as the suspension goes up and down, the wheel turns a little bit inwards or outwards, because the um, the arms of the suspension are of different lengths. Okay, and so those different lengths, when they move up and down like this, okay, some of them stay parallel, some of them become different, and so they create different arcs. Okay, and that means that if it's not well designed, on some older cars it was happening a lot, then by going up and down, the wheel with the tire will also turn inside or outside, like that and like that. Now, by doing that, obviously, if you have a bump and your suspension goes up and down and it has bump steer, so it does like that, obviously it will move around your steering wheel, right? But if it's properly designed, it will have minimal bump steer or even not at all, which means that it can go up and down and it will not turn. So your steering wheel will remain completely stable. You want to do a test, but carefully at low speed. Make sure you have space. Go into a bumpy road with your modern car, okay, and keep one finger on the steering wheel. Make sure it's a pretty well bumpy road, okay. You will feel everything, bam, boom. You will feel the vibrations. You will feel things happening, but the steering wheel doesn't fucking moves. How many times I have to tell you? I mean, I'm not telling you, but to other people that keeps on, oh, well, the steering wheel should move. No, it doesn't. If the suspension is properly designed, you will go over the bump, okay. Make sure it's not a longitudinal above, so like, I don't know, something that goes longitudinally, so that your wheel goes into and then follows as rails. That's a different thing. I'm not talking about rails. I'm talking about a simple pothole into the ground. You go over the pothole. You keep your one finger on the steering wheel, and then come back and tell me if your steering wheel will do this or will just go, but it will remain straight, because that's what modern cars do. And even less than modern, they knew this situation back in the 60s and the 70s. Okay, sometimes it wasn't possible to solve it, but they tried to solve it as much as possible. um so people are putting rod effects at 100%, and they expect this to move around as they go into a straight line on the asphalt, and that's feedback. But if you have this, okay, that continuous noise of force feedback will also make disappear the subtle vibrations from the tires, because instead of, I mean, we will try to give you all the vibrations together, but obviously they will be hidden by the noise generated by the rod effects. So my advice is never use this 100%. If you really cannot make it without it and you need some kind of, little bit of vibration while you're moving, especially with old steering wheels, keep it low, keep it 10, keep it 20% at most, maybe 25, but I'm already asking for too much here, because if you raise it a lot, it will generate noise, and that noise will cover all the subtle effects that are happening on the tire surface, on the tire footprint. Okay, so it's very important. Put that thing down to zero, try again. You might feel that, oh, but this is dead. Give it some laps, and on turning, you will start to understand many other things that they are happening behind it. All right. Oh, here's another thing about the strength, about the gain. Okay, the gain. I've seen many people, they are driving watching, the force feedback bar, and when it gets instantly red, then they go here and down. Drive again, oh, it's red again, down. But red just because they hit a curb, so it went red for an instant and down again. No, don't do that. I mean, if you have a direct drive, that's a different matter. You can put this down to 30. You should do it. Don't look what I have here. I have already explained it in another video. You should put down this to 40 or 30 and use higher forces into the direct force. Same thing more or less with a CSW. But if you have a Logitech, if you have even one of the first Thrustmasters or some modern Thrustmasters that they're very good, but they are a bit softer in terms of force feedback. A little bit of red in 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 uh, in the force feedback bar is not a problem. Leave it. Okay, it clips. Yes, it clips, but only when you hit very hard a curb with lots of downforce. It happens once, but for the rest of the turns, when you are turning normally, it won't happen. If it just clips for you know just a hint of a second, leave it. It's not a big deal. Don't become obsessive about, oh, it should never be red. No, it should be red sometimes, because otherwise you're gonna have a very, very soft force feedback everywhere. All right. I don't know about that because I've got the new Simukube. I still have to install it because I cannot install it here. I have to see how to do it, and I wanted to maintain, my muscle memory for finishing the GT4 cars. So I don't know. I know that Gergo did probably the Simukube 2 presets. So that's all. That's it. The dynamic damping affects the, how to say, the dumping of the thing. It's that effect that when you turn, the steering wheel is not completely free and just turns around, but it has some friction into it, and that friction arrives again from the physics. So mm, if you have a low end consumer wheel, use something like 20, 40, 50. Maybe not go up to 20 to 100. If you have something higher, use 100. It depends, guys. Let's not make this too long. I have made already another video about that. I just wanted to tell you that thing about caster, but go watch the other video to understand how to set up your wheels. There is a dedicated video about force feedback. It's pretty short also, so go watch that. Good. I'm happy that it improved a lot. Very, very happy about it. Very glad about it. Okay, so let's do a lap. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning. For the PlayStation, I know there are some configuration errors, but also you might be into those problems with configuration, some strange combination. So until we have a new patch out, and I really don't know what to tell you right now. So let's wait and see for now. When the new patch is out, let's try again and see what happens. For the Logitech, as usual, we always recommend to put the minimum force at least 10 or 12% because the steering wheel has a force feedback dead zone at the middle. So you need to raise that to something like 10, 12% minimum force in the control options of the force feedback. Non è un problema. Well, yes, you can change caster just for force feedback if you want, but it also affects the physics, so not the best idea, to be honest. No worries. That is nice. Aggressive. No worries, no worries. I don't know yet about the telemetry on the consoles. I believe it's all about if we can make it export somehow. Yeah, I can't drive anymore. I believe it's all about if we can export somehow the telemetry outside from the console into a PC, because obviously the program that we use for telemetry is the official Motec software, which is one of the best telemetry sorry softwares in the industry, and obviously it works for PC. So we should see if we can make it in a way that it saves somewhere the files and then exports. I don't know even if it's possible. So that telemetry number has probably left is a leftover from the user interface. I don't know if the code underneath it is it's active or if it does something. I have no idea. So let's first solve the proper problems and then later we'll see. I'm sorry about it. On is that on 1.5, Jason, or on the consoles? Miguel, we had a full, more than 1 hour explanation of uh, how to drive in mixed grids. Give people some, some space and some time, and they will learn. Obviously, it's new for everybody. But I've already heard so many people being so glad about mixed racing. So you know, so with the console, you are still guys at 1.3.7. I don't know all the problems that were in the 1.3.7, but I can assure you that while you will be arriving at 1.4, 1.5, and I'm pretty sure you will probably also jump to 1.5 at some point, the whole save on long racers and stuff like that is greatly improved, much more stable right now. So you know, thank you for your support. Be a little bit patient. You will arrive. Also, the console will arrive at 1.5, and you will see that saving goes much better. After so many races with the GT4s lately, seeing those cars are they are monsters. Look at how wide they are. Like, amazing. Okay. So, all right, we are 44 highs with 62 liters, so not bad. Temperature is not that low, so again, not bad. Uh, Thank you, Fabian. Thank you so much. But it will get much better. It will get much better. Um, so I think we are in a good position. Uh, right now, I need practice. Honestly, I need to get better, to understand the car better, to understand the track better. I don't have enough practice, so tomorrow I will try to do some practice. Then, hopefully, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we have the first qualification race, something like that. I think I will be streaming. Check to be sure. I don't know yet, but I think I will be streaming. So check as me and Gergo will try to do the race. Um, yeah, Alexa, I believe they are trying to fix all of that. They are working already on that. It's not a graphics bug. I mean, if you mean the fact that you put 900 and it doesn't rotate properly, it's not a graphic bug. It's actually something with the controls that's not good. Ciao, Parabel. It does. It does. So Chris, we have explained this in a different video, but let me show you something quite fast. So here's the situation. Um, the safety rating is not something instant. Okay, so the safety rating here, I hope it works. No, it doesn't work. Yeah, we have a downtime. So the safety rating is not something instant. It creates a statistic of all your driving. And depending on what you do, it goes up and down. It can even go up and down while you're not doing nothing, because you are doing kilometers, and some stuff you have done some time ago, it just goes away, vanishes, and goes into a different average. So what does that mean? When someone hits someone else, even very badly, it doesn't mean that instantly its safety rating will get a big hit, because it might have been an accident, it might have been a bad day, whatever. But before that, that guy might have been a pretty good or decent driver. So all the good races that has done before that make an average. And when you have an average, you have a statistic, and you have an average number, okay, because of many different results. One very bad result, it's not going to change the average by a lot. Now, if you keep doing those bad results, then it will go down, okay. But it needs some time to go down. You need to keep doing bad results. The same is for getting better. You need to keep doing good results. If you're not doing good results, it won't go up. One good race is not enough to take it up, and make it higher. If you are, if your average rating is much lower. So that's how it works. Slow rotating wheels or replace. Well, I don't know about that. That's something for the guys that do the replay. No, no worries, no worries. Oh yeah, also private lobbies are coming for the consoles. Nice, nice. Okay, guys. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I think we have covered. I mean, we covered the how to deal with mixed races. We did some laps at Barcelona. We took down our lap times to 44, which is not bad with just so little laps. Uh, I hope you had fun. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna have an interesting race, which might be even more fun to deal with. And yeah, what can I say? Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for being so many, even so late in the night. As usual, a reminder for the new guys: I will cut the interesting parts of this live stream and put them online in the following week, as playlist too long didn't watch. And yeah, have a good night and